Hello everyone. I'm just trying to make sure that my microphone is working properly. I know that it had been out of sync with these last few courses, and I do apologize with that in regards to the replay. So, nevertheless, we are here. I am here. And you don't necessarily have to look at me in order to hear me, right? So, with that being said, welcome everyone to our third class on spiritual and psychic development. I'm your professor, Denay, of the Sacred Lotus Temple. I want to thank those of you who may be watching the replay on YouTube. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel. It will really help me out. I'd appreciate that very much. So today we are going to be talking about exploring intuition and divination tools. Again, this course is for beginners, so I'm going to lightly speak on different subjects just to really get your brain thinking and trying to look at things from different perspectives, okay? All I ask is that you have an open mind and try to look beyond your current programming. All right? Fair? Perfect. So let's jump right into it. Strengthening your intuition through daily practices. So your intuition is basically an innate ability that everyone has. Everyone has this skill, but you have to practice. Having a strong intuition does require practice. You have to develop it, and then you have to trust it, okay? I have a course on my website, thesacredlotustemple.org, where the whole course is specifically about developing and trusting your intuition. It's called Awakening Your Intuition. It's available on my website now if you guys are interested in having a more deeper understanding of your intuition, how to develop it, and how to trust it. Okay? So I'm going to go over some daily exercises that you can use to strengthen your intuitive abilities. Okay? Welcome on in, everyone. Thank you for being here. So the first one is meditation and mindfulness. It is important that you take 5 to 10 minutes a day for quiet meditation. You will want to focus your breath, then shift attention to like your inner knowing. And ask yourself a question and then observe any sensations or thoughts or images that may arise, okay? Why do you want to do that? Because you want to see how your body talks to you, okay? You ask yourself a question, and if you see something in your mind, you can have precognition and or, clear, it is a precognition, right? But in this sense, in this area, in this space, it's called claircognizance. Or you may have clairvoyance, which is clear sight. Claircognizance is clear knowing, okay? Thank you guys so much for joining this class. This is a class on spiritual and psychic development. If y'all have any questions about this particular subject matter, about the course, I will gladly answer your questions. Okay? Make sure you just put them in the comments and I'll answer it as I talk, okay? So as I was saying, claircognizance, clairvoyance, that's if you see something after asking a question. If you hear something, that's clairaudience. If you feel something, that's clairsensing. You may also be an empath, okay? And whatever you see, it's important that you trust what you see or what you feel or what you hear. Okay? This is how you build a trust for your intuition, is by paying attention to how your body is talking to you. You may also want to start journaling and automatic writing. Keeping a journal and recording your intuitive insights, dreams, and synchronicities is very important, because what you see today, you may not understand it, but 2 weeks from now, you can see it as well. You could see it then. It'll make more sense to you. Okay? Practice automatic writing. How do you do this? You basically hold a pen to paper, and whatever comes to you, you just allow the messages to flow, and then you write it on the piece of paper. Write without overthinking. Write without judgment. Just write. And this can help you with channeling intuitive insights. Last week we talked about energy and sensing auras. A daily practice that you can use to develop that ability to be able to see someone's aura, or even your aura, or to sense your aura, right? If you're someone who's interested in expanding it so that you can feel the energy of not just your own space that you're in, but from miles out, okay? We talked about this last week, but you're going to slowly just rub your hands together. They might feel a little warm. And then slowly pull them apart. And if you can feel the energy between them, that's your aura. Right? You might want to go out, see how, until you can't feel it anymore. Like right now, I can still feel it. About right there. Okay. You can also practice sensing people's energy fields by focusing on how you feel when you're near them. So if you were like in a great mood and then all of a sudden you sit next to someone and you're like, you get sad or you feel a sadness, then that person could be sad as well. Okay. Hey you guys, thank you so much for coming into my live today. I am not doing readings. This is a course on psychic and spiritual development. And just so that you know, if I was doing readings today, all readings require a payment. I do not accept gifts in lieu of money. All readings require a payment. So thank you so much for hoping that I would answer your question, but this time is not the time for that. But I encourage you to stay for the class. It's an absolutely free class. I'm here every Wednesday and Friday, giving you guys lessons on how to develop spiritually and psychically. Okay? Thank you so much. Okay. Aura visualization. How can you see someone's aura? Softening your gaze, maybe looking at them against a white wall. And I say white because other colors could cause the shade of their aura to like blend in, right? So you're not going to want to look at someone's aura on a yellow wall if they have a yellow aura, or a cream wall that has like a yellow base. Does that make sense? Maybe black, but black tends to absorb as well, whereas white will reflect. So you can look at someone, right? Lower your gaze, meaning you kind of like squint your eyes a little bit. And you're focusing on the outer part of them to see their aura. Okay? You can also practice trying to find your aura by looking in the mirror. Okay? Another daily practice that could happen is if you tune into your gut feelings. Okay? Hold on, I need to set a timer. Okay. just so that we stay on track today as far as time goes. Which is funny to say that time, even though, because we know that time is an illusion, right? All right, so tuning into your gut feelings. Pay attention to your bodily sensations. Tightness, warmth, tingles when making decisions. For me specifically, I know that I'm making the right decision or I'm on the right path is because I will get like goosebumps on my arms. Like both of my arms, it'll get really cold and then I'll get the goosebumps. That's how I know I'm on the right path. That's when I know that the decisions that I'm making are in alignment with my life's purpose. Also keep in mind that before acting, pause and ask, does this feel aligned? Okay? Before you do anything. Especially if it's like a serious decision that needs to be made. Ask yourself, ask your higher self, is what I'm about to do in alignment with my goals, with my purpose? Or, even if it's something as small as, you woke up this morning with a plan of the things that you wanted to do, and then something comes up and you're like, well, if I do this, is it in alignment with my plans or my goals for the day? Something very simple that you can do. You literally can do it all, at any time. You're sitting at home and you want to watch ice cream, but you're watching a movie and you want to eat ice cream while you're watching the movie, but you have a goal of losing like 45 pounds or something. And you're like, is eating the ice cream right now in alignment with my goal of losing weight and a healthy eating lifestyle? You see what I mean? It's very simple. It's very basic, but it's something that you should do in order to build your skills. And I also want to add that it is very important for y'all to build up and trust, strengthen your intuition as well as your discernment. Because you want, I want to say this without it being like some like rage bait, doom and gloom, fear mongering or whatever. But it's the truth, right? With everything that life can bring us, right? With everything that life holds for us, right? We have to make sure that we are making the best decisions that we most possibly can. Because the decision that you make today could ultimately have a major impact on your life, like within 6 months. Okay? Even today, depending on where you're living, I'm currently in the United States. We see today that there are a lot of changes that are happening. And it's important that as we move through these transformations and these changes, that we utilize our intuition and our discernment to make the best decisions that we can for our lives, for your personal life. Okay? So just keep that in the background of your foreground. Another daily practice that you can do is intuitive play and symbol interpretation. You can use games like Guess Who, Guess Who's Calling, Guess Who's Texting, before checking, right? So your phone goes off. I mean, it would help if you like flipped your phone upside down, right? But you hear your phone ringing or your text messages go off and you think, oh, that's my, just have a guess. Have a play at it, right? Oh, that's my mom calling. Oh, that's my, my son texting me, whatever the case may be. And then look at your phone and see if you were correct. Something that you may not even think of is, remember when you were a kid and you used to stare up at the sky and look at the clouds and think of what shapes the clouds were in? You can do that. look at the signs of nature or random objects and what messages or symbols may appear. So that's a great practice if you're someone who likes to people watch. If you're someone who likes to be outside and just looking around and seeing all that you can see, that's a great practice for you to do in order to develop your intuition. You can even consider to start developing your own personal meanings for common symbols that repeat in your life. Make them personal to you. Also, there's dream work and nighttime messages. Keep a dream journal. Keep a dream journal. And it doesn't necessarily have to be separate from your personal journal. But you can. Just have a dream journal. You keep it next to your bed when you wake up in the morning, or whatever your schedule is. When you wake up, if you've had a dream, write your dream down. Especially when it's fresh in your mind. And if you can't remember your dream, then at least write down how you feel when you wake up. You know, oh, I feel really good about my future. I feel like I slept really hard, but I'm exhausted. You know, like I feel rested, but my body is still tired. That might be a sign, though, that you had like a lucid dream or you were astral projecting. But we'll talk about that a little bit later. You can also ask for guidance before sleep and notice any recurring dreams or themes or even spirit messages. So before you go to bed, set your intentions, right? I want to talk to my higher self. I want to talk to my spirit guides. My intentions before I go to bed is to learn what I need to do with my future self. I don't know, whatever you're trying to manifest in your life, you can set your intention on. You'll learn what steps you need to take in order to manifest it, right? Beyond the thinking and the feeling, you have to do as well. You have to do, and then you have to release doubt that it'll happen, or release the doubt that it won't happen, excuse me. And then lastly, another practice is spend time in silence to strengthen your ability to hear inner guidance. This is also something that you could do while you're meditating. One thing that I used to do when I would just sit in silence is I would literally just lay on the couch. Just lay on the couch, maybe close my eyes or just stare at the ceiling, but I would just be quiet. And then, I would listen for anything that would come up that might have been unusual. Not really sure how to explain that, but it's just like you get certain insights that may or may not have come from your higher self. But when you get these insights just from sitting in the silence, it could be helpful. Again, you can write those insights down into your dream journal or whatever type of journal you're keeping for that particular practice. So again, as you're sitting in silence, become aware of the sudden thoughts, inspirations, or words that pop into your head unexpectedly. Listen to synchronicities, right? So the universe often speaks to us through patterns, numbers, and events. So just keep that aware. Keep aware of that. You may see patterns. You may see different synchronicities. Okay, what is a synchronicity? Like angel numbers. Some people call them repeated numbers. So if every day you are driving down the street, or not, and you see something peculiar, right? You see, well, not every day. I'll say any day. Maybe you see on someone's license plate 222. Then you see on a billboard 222, right? You have a doctor's appointment. It's a new doctor and they're in suite 222. Okay, that would be a synchronicity. That 222 would be a representation of a harmony and balance and peace within your life. So that could be a sign that you're either called to get your life together and back in harmony, or it is a sign from your guides, letting you know that they recognize all the work that you've been doing to try to create some balance in your home or just in your life in general. Okay? All right. Now, again, those are just the daily practices that you can do. If you are interested in taking a deeper dive and actually doing some visualizations, meditations, finding some readings and some coachings, I have a course on that on my website called the Awakening Your Intuition. It is a 4-week course. It is self-paced, but it's yours for as long as you need it. What else? It's about fully developing your intuition, how to gain clarity, how to strengthen it, you'll learn more ways on how to develop it, strengthen it, and trust it. Okay? All right. Does anyone have any questions about that? If you do, put it in the comment section. I will gladly answer your questions for you. Just let me know. Your questions regarding this class. Let me be specific. Your questions regarding this class, I will answer in the comment section, okay? Now let's talk about divination. Divination is the practice of seeking knowledge or insight or from spirit or energetic sources. No, it is not demonic. I mean, unless you're trying to speak to a demon, but I wouldn't recommend that. It serves as a tool as enhancing your intuition, receiving guidance, and deepening your self-awareness. So here are some key divination methods, and we'll go over some in depth because I know them personally. So tarot cards, okay? In the tarot deck, there are 78 cards. There's 22 major arcanas and 56 minor arcanas. If you're interested in learning how to read tarot, I have a class on my YouTube channel called Learn How to Read Tarot. My YouTube channel is the Sacred Lotus Temple. The class is absolutely free to you, but I do offer that class, where I review all of the major arcana. I review the symbols, the meanings, which cards are related to which zodiac sign, which each what do you want to call it? What the 4 suits represent. All of those things, okay? You guys, welcome on in. This is a class. Welcome on in. Okay, so with the tarot card, it offers a deep and layered insight into life situations, okay? This is the Rider-Waite deck. This is the deck that I use for teaching. For those of you who are beginners, I recommend that you get a deck that has a guidebook so that you can learn what the symbols mean, but then you can also develop your own personal interpretations over time. Okay? The tarot deck connects to intuition, archetypal symbolism, and spiritual wisdom. Okay? So the major arcana, which are the 22 cards. Let's see. Their major themes are like life themes, spiritual lessons, and transformations. Okay. again, you'll get more information if you watch my full course on how to read the tarot. And then the major arcana, the 56 cards, reflects your everyday situations and experiences, divided into 4 suits. So there's the wands. Let me get those out. So the wands are like this, which represent creativity, action, and ambition. Cups. Let's see. So the cups, something like this. These are cups. Emotions, relationships, intuition. Swords. Where are the swords at? Swords, thoughts, challenges, and intellect. And then the pentacles, finances, career, and stability. Now with tarot, it's used for self-reflection, divination, and guidance, and healing and shadow work. Okay? So let me give you an example on like a cute little spread. And we'll just go over this briefly. Alright? We'll do a spread for like past, present, and future. I'll just pull from the major arcana first, okay? Alright, so of course you're going to shuffle the cards, but I like to keep these ones in order because I use them for teaching. So let's just say you pull the Hermit for the past. What else do we have? The Hermit for the past. What about the High Priestess? And the fun one, let's do the Star. There we go. So let's say you pull these cards. This is your past, the Hermit. This is your present, the High Priestess. And this is your past, the Star. So the Hermit would be something like, you can interpret it as being, you've been in a phase of deep introspection and learning. Okay? And then the High Priestess could be, you're developing your intuitive gifts, and you're learning to trust them. And then in the future spot is the Star. Hope, divination, guidance, and alignment with your higher purpose are on the way. It can also represent healing. But yeah. If you're someone who's interested in learning tarot, I would encourage you to keep a journal. And as you're learning tarot, pull cards for yourself and put them together so that you're able to begin to learn how to tell the story. I would also recommend that you keep in mind into how the cards are facing each other. All right, where they're located, where they're facing each other, how they interact with each other. That'll be helpful as you go through the process of learning tarot. Excuse me, I was putting the cards down. All right. Oracle cards. Oracle cards are another way for divination. They're more free-flowing, whereas tarot is a bit more structured, and oracle cards are usually themed like on like angels, spirit animals, affirmations, things like that. Okay, there's really no fixed structure, and each deck has its own meanings, but it's best for quick insights or supportive messages. So like, this is one of my oracle decks. This is like the first one that I ever got. It's called the the Psychic Tarot Oracle deck by John Holland. And so his cards kind of reflect what the tarot represents as well. So for example, with 15 of Temptation, this would also represent the Devil card. Okay, fulfillment and wishes, this would be the 9 of Cups, or Nine of Pentacles, or I want to even say, what was the other one? Fulfillment of wishes. Cups, Pentacles, and there's something else that this would go with too. But y'all get what I mean, okay? Oracle decks are really good. If you have a really high intuition, being an oracle reader would be really good for you as well. You can start by doing daily pulls, just kind of seeing like what you could ask, what do I need to be focused on today? What do I need to be aware of today? Things like that. Now, another one that I have for divination tools is the pendulum, dowsing for pendulums. So it'll look like this. It's a small weighted object. Can y'all see? I'll hold it up here. It's a small weighted object, often like a crystal, some type of metal or a wood, and it's attached to some type of string or chain. You use it for yes or no questions, to locate objects, or to detect energy fields, okay? So what you're going to do is you'll take the chain in between your fingers like this. Of course, you're going to want to cleanse it first. Cleanse your tools, okay? You can use Palo Santo, incense, like frankincense and myrrh. Maybe let it charge. If you have a crystal, charge it under the full moon. But then what you're going to do is you're going to hold it as still as possible. And then, ask it to show you what yes means. So in real life, it might go like this. It might go in a circle. It might go counterclockwise. But it'll show you how it's going to talk to you. I would also recommend you trying to bond with it, holding it. If it's a crystal, hold, or even a metal, hold it in your hands and bond with it. I encourage you to do the same thing if you're looking into using tarot or oracle decks. You're going to want to do an energy exchange where you get the energy of your cards, and then your cards get your energy as well. And how do you do that? You just hold the cards, right? Shuffle them, play with them, hold them, right? Practical uses for the pendulum is checking energy fields and chakras. Place the pendulum. You can place the pendulum over your body to detect blockages. You can use it to find lost objects. You can also use it for receiving guidance from your spirit guides, archangels, higher self. Some people have really cute mats that have different symbols on it. Yes or no, and then what they'll do is they'll use the pendulum, and then the pendulum might go towards whatever they're asking, yes or no. Okay. Now, other divination tools are psychometry. If you're familiar with that, let me know in the comments. But psychometry is the ability to sense information from objects by touching them. Everything carries an energy. Everything has some type of energetic imprint into it. So you could, if you have the gift of psychometry, you can pick up a picture of someone from 1810, right? I don't know if they had cameras then, but that year just popped into my head. But you can pick up a picture or a painting of someone in 1810, and you would be able to touch it, and you would know about this person solely on the energy that you receive from touching the object. Whether if it's a picture, maybe if it's someone's personal belonging, like a locket, a bracelet, whatever the case may be. I'll give you a personal story of, I went to a psychic once who practiced psychometry. And this was back in 2013, 2014. And so this lady took asked me for my bracelet, and I gave it to her. It was something similar to this with the lava rocks. And so she took it. She didn't know anything about me. It's the first time I had ever met her, and she was able to tell me that about a friend of mine who had passed away, who in 2010. She was able to tell me, she was like, "Oh, when he first passed away, you used to see him all the time." And I was like, "Yeah, I would see him like walking up and down the street." And she's like, "Yeah, that was him." And I would just told her, and I was like, "I kind of thought so, because this person, I had never seen them before walking on the street, you know." Every day after my friend had passed away, I would be getting off the highway to go home, and I would see this man walking down the street. He had on the same coat that my friend would wear, everything, same outfit, everything. The last outfit that I saw him in, he had that outfit on. Okay. And I was like, that has to be him. That has to be Bill, right? And it was just a beautiful experience. She was able to see that. She confirmed that my feelings about this person, like, that was really him. Because, you know, I would turn the corner. This is when I lived in Parma, in Ohio. I would turn the corner, right, getting off of whatever that highway is, the 90, I think. Turn left, and this man, for like weeks, he would just be walking, you know, down the street on the left-hand side, and I would see him, and I would like look, and you know, I don't want to get in a car accident, but I knew that I wasn't losing my mind. I knew that I was seeing this person, and it's so funny. And then I would just keep driving, but then I would look in my rear view mirror, and he wouldn't be there anymore. Like, gone. I would look in my side views, I'd look in my rear view, and it would just be gone. Like, at one time, I even, like, turned around, you know, made a U-E, and he was gone. And I'm like, there's no way. Like, there's no other place that he could go unless he's, like, freaking Superman. So anyways, long story short, that is what psychometry is being able to read the energy of an object that you hold and focusing on its sensations and allowing for the images, the impressions, or even the emotions to come through the object. Okay? One way that you can practice this is to ask a friend for an object that they frequently use, and then hold it and describe any intuitive hits that you get, and then validate that information with the person, you know, afterward. Other divination tools that we have that I'm not necessarily someone who practices, but I'm aware of them, so I'll just read through it quickly. Shells and bones. It's called throwing the bones. It's used in African, indigenous, and Hoodoo traditions. Practitioners will throw bones, shells, or stones and interpret how they land. The symbolic meanings are assigned to each piece, offering deep ancestral insights. There's also people who have tea leaf and coffee ground readings. This is called tasseography. So after drinking tea or coffee, they will swirl the cup and turn it upside down. And then they take the cup off, and then they read how the leaves or the coffee grounds land on the plate. Okay? And so they interpret shapes and symbols left by the residue. Common symbols that are seen are birds, circles, and ladders. Birds are a representation of messages and freedom. Circles are completion and cycles. And then ladders are progress and spiritual growth. Okay, let's see. Checking my timer. Okay. All right, so tasseography, which is tea leaf and coffee ground readings, right? They've been practiced across many cultures, specifically like Middle Eastern and Mediterranean cultures, like the Turkish, Arabic traditions, Greek, Greeks do coffee. Let me see. Turkish and Arabic coffee. Turkish coffee, Arabic coffee. Those, they use it, how can I say it? Because the sediment is like super, super thick. Okay? I don't know if you guys have ever had Arabic coffee. If you're not used to it, it will cause you to grow like a full beard. It is super, super strong. Not in a bad way, but just be aware. Okay? The Romani Gypsy, I don't like that word. I don't like gypsy. The Romani people, they use tea leaf readings. British and European traditions in the 17th and 18th centuries, especially when they started getting tea from China, they did tea readings. Ireland tea leaf readings are a part of like the Irish folk traditions. And then Chinese and Asian traditions include, even though they have tea there, but they do more like I Ching, their particular astrology, and then also they have something called face reading, which is absolutely fascinating. They can read your face and tell you anything they need to know about you. But the Taoists and Buddhists have been known to use tea readings as well. Okay, I'm trying to put these cards together. I'll do it later. Slavic and Eastern European traditions like Russia, Serbia, Bulgaria. They also have a long tradition of coffee ground reading. And they will perform this like after they drink like really strong black coffee. And this divination system is rooted also in their folk wisdom. So let me stop here for a minute and share with you guys how important it is for you guys to just be aware and not judge other cultures and beliefs on their practices. I had seen a TikTok here where the lady was talking about people, using bones for their divination practices. And I was and because the person was not, black or of color, they thought that, that it was unusual. But different folks have the ability to read different things. Now, I say this, is that everyone just needs to be open to the fact that every culture has different divination tools, and just because you're not familiar with them, or just because you don't do those things within your culture, your circle, your practices, your coven, whatever it may be, doesn't mean that it's wrong, and doesn't mean that they are inaccurate. Okay, it just means that it's not a tool that you use, and just allow other people to use their tools that they're used to, that they're comfortable with. There's no need for judgment. There's no need for condemnation. You just practice what you practice and let other people practice what they practice. Fair? Fair. All right. So the African and Afro-Caribbean traditions, some practitioners in Hoodoo, Voodoo, and Santeria incorporate tasseography into their broader divination practices. For example, in Morocco and North Africa, coffee and tea divination is sometimes performed, often alongside dream interpretation and scrying. And also modern and new age metaphysical communities also use tasseography for psychic, spiritual healers, or energy workers. Okay, it's basically used as a method to channel intuitive insights. They also will use it with tarot, astrology, and mediumship. So just keep in mind that tea leaf and coffee ground reading have been embraced by many people for many generations, from folk magic to mystical and divination traditions worldwide. The Middle East, Europe, Romani, and even with modern metaphysics, okay? So one thing that you can do with all the information that we've shared today is to pick a divination method of your choice. Whether if it's tasseography, whether if it's tarot, oracle, what else did we talk about? Pendulums, bones. What was the other thing that we talked about, y'all? Cards, pendulums, psychometry, reading the energy from objects. Get one of these tools and perform a reading on yourself or a partner, right? Get one of your friends, family member, and start practicing. And then record what insights you receive to validate, and validate your intuition. So you'll do the reading. You'll ask a person, how does that resonate with you? And they can either say it's a crock of crap, or they can say, wow, you're 100%, or maybe like 80%. Okay? Other divination practices are runes, and that's more of Norse and Germanic traditions. There's scrying, where you can use crystal balls, water, mirrors, or fire. I like fire. One thing that you can do with fire is just light a candle and then look at the flame. That's something that I've been doing since I was a kid. I've been very, very intrigued by fire and how not only can it can destroy, but it can also allow for rebirth. But let me go back to the runes. So with the runes, it's a set of 24 stones or like wooden tiles that have like runic symbols. And the reader interprets these runes based off of their positions, their patterns, and their symbolic meanings. So if this is something that you're interested in, you can try that as well. It's for protection. Well, it's not just for like Norse paganism, but that is what it derives from. Okay? And then depending on if you are a person of the craft, it might be something that you may be interested in exploring, understanding, and learning. All right, and so then we were talking about scrying, which is crystal balls, water, mirrors, or fire. Now let me tell you this, if you're going to use a mirror, as a beginner, I wouldn't recommend using a mirror because it's going to be because you're just basically going to be looking at a reflection of yourself, and if you're not psychologically or spiritually prepared to possibly see your reflection move and you're not moving, I wouldn't recommend that. The first time that I ever did mirrors, I was looking at myself and I saw my face like turn, and then it looked back at me and smiled, and I was like, oh, so this is what it is. Okay? So be very prepared for those possibilities. Be very prepared to see things that you weren't necessarily thinking that you were going to see. Please remember that mirrors are portals. So if you're going to be doing mirror work, I hope that you if you're going to use mirrors, I recommend that you first learn how to properly close mirrors as well as open mirrors, so that what you don't want doesn't come through. Okay? Same with crystal balls. If you use water for scrying, I I like to put something in it, like oil. You can also use water. Put dirt in the water. Excuse me. You can use water. Did I say that correctly? I'm starting to get tongue-tied. Either way, put something in the water. You can put oil. You can put dirt. You can just look at the water itself. Make sure that it's in a bowl that doesn't reflect anything. For example, don't put it in a clear glass bowl, knowing that it is reflecting other things from the room or the space that it's in. So just be aware of that. So basically with scrying, you're gazing into a reflective surface. Hey Tanaya, how are you? Welcome on in. You're gazing into a reflective surface to receive visions, messages, or insights. You'll enter a meditative state, focusing on your tool, your crystal ball, your black mirror, your water bowl, or your fire. And then pay attention to any visions that appear. Pay attention to any shapes, symbols, okay? So that you can interpret them. Tanaya, right now I'm doing a class, so you're going to have to wait till the end. Okay. Let's see what else. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Alright, so scrying is often used for clairvoyant insights. If you are a clairvoyant, scrying will work well for you because you will be able to see. You have clear sight. You will be able to see what's going on. Okay? It's also good for past life viewing and spirit channeling. Channeling and communication. So who used it? Where did it come from? Ancient Egyptians used it. Greeks used it. The Celts used it. They used water and mirrors specifically for divination. In medieval Europe, the mystics and the witches used the crystal balls. I don't even really like that term witch, even though it's beautiful, but I prefer the term healer. But we'll see how that catches on. And then in hoodoo, voodoo, and ATRs, the African traditional religions, they use water, fire scrying, and spirit messages for spirit messages, okay? All right. Where are we at on time? Okay. Let's end the discussion here. We'll end it at scrying. And then our class on Friday will pick back up and we'll talk about bibliomancy, lithomancy, omen interpretation. We'll talk about divination, bone reading, and I Ching. Okay? So I want to thank y'all for joining the class today. If you were not able to catch the whole thing, it will be posted on YouTube. And for those watching the replay, please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Sacred Lotus Temple, as well as like this video. If you have any questions, please put it in the comment section. If you're watching now live on TikTok, please make sure that you're following me. Please make sure that you have liked this live and that you are sharing it with others. Alright, so but I'm going to end the class now. We'll pick back up on Friday. I'm going to end the recording and then I'm going to do Tanaya's reading. So hold on for one moment.